Hello, today we will be starting a new unit, and it is going to be unit at the bottom, unit 5, and it's right triangle trigonometry. And this is, oops, and this is the assignment right here. It's going to be a review from unit 1, finding the sides of right triangles. Okay, so when you click on it, now before you go there, I'm just going to let you know that it is from unit 1. Okay, it's a review from Unit 1 that we did on September 12th. So if you feel like you need more um, instruction on that, I made a longer video then. But now I'm just going to go ahead and do what we did then without explaining as much. But it is back on this unit here, Unit 1. So if it's closed, click the arrow. And it's September 12th right here. See, so it's finding the sides of right triangles. That was the lesson. Okay, so anyway, so go ahead and let's open this. Okay, so when you open this, it's very important that you understand and interpret that you understand this. So please make sure you translate it so you're so that you understand this. Okay. Now, okay. So the first thing is this is the video that you're watching right now, and I'm going to do the first, I think, 3 or 4 problems so that you can see the types of problems on here and maybe remember. But also, this is not you may want to spend a little bit of time reviewing this website here because this is a website I had you go through at the time about the Pythagorean theorem. So if you scroll down, you'll kind of see what we learned before. Remember this? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's basically all we're using. C is always the side opposite the right angle, right? C is the longest side, right? If you want to see some examples worked out, here's some examples. Again, it's there. Here's another example worked out. And another example worked out. There's 2 main ways that it shows up. One time you're trying to solve for this. Remember, the C is the hypotenuse. Okay, so you would go through this process. And the B is one, and these are the legs, right? So sometimes if you have the legs, and to solve for hypotenuse, it's pretty easy, right? You just go through this process. But if you're trying to solve for one of the legs, you have to do a little bit of algebra by going through this and then subtracting one of the sides. But pretty much the same. So if you want to spend a little time on that first, that's fine to review. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the problem. So go ahead and open the assignment in Kami. Okay, so this is what we're doing today, finding the sides of right triangles, okay? So let's go ahead and I think this one right here is already, oh yeah, that's right there, isn't it? So the first one, yeah, okay, so the answer is going to be 13. So I will let you go here and see the steps. What they did is they took 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. They did the square on it, right? 5 squared. And then they added these up here to get 169. And then they had to take the square root. Remember how that works? You go into you get your calculator. So I'll go ahead and do that with you. Once you get to 169 equals c squared, you've got to take the square root of both sides, right? Maybe I should just do it anyway. I'll do it over here. How about that? So let me make this bigger. You get, let's see if this pen is working. Oops. So 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. And remember, on your calculator, to get that value, you're going to have to go. I'll just do a quick review of that too. If you haven't done it in a while, go bye-bye. Thank you. There we go. So we go 5, right? 5, and then squared is right there, plus 12 squared, and then I can hit enter and I get 169. So, but now I have to take the square root of that, right? Because now I've got, so that's going to equal 169, right? Oh, that's the problem right there. Equals c squared. But remember, I want c, not c squared. So I have to go like that. And then this becomes just c, right? But I have to do it to both sides, right? So then I have to go get my calculator. And to get, oops, go bye-bye. Get out of here. Go. Oh, I hate that. I don't want to see that. There we go. Okay, so I have to go squared. Remember, I have to go second, this, and then 169, enter, and I get 13, right? So there we go, and that's how we get 13, okay? So x is equal to 13. Okay, over here it's kind of the same thing, but what's different is, remember, c is always going to be across from this. So this was the c, right, the x? But here, the C is going to be the 5. So make sure you identify that clearly first, that this is your C. So that means these are the legs. So now we're going to solve for this one, right? So we go x squared plus 3 squared equals C, or sorry, 5 squared, right? Because we know that's 5. And then we're going to get x squared plus 9 equals 25. Okay, minus 9, x squared. Okay, so x squared equal, that would be 16, and then I have to take the square root of both, so x is going to be equal to, and my pen stopped working, 4. Okay, so this one, x is 4. Okay, now over here, we can also do it even if the numbers are not nice whole numbers, but again, we have to remember this is the c, right? And then so here we can do the same thing. We just go x squared plus 10.1 squared equals 11.4. And if you do that one, then your answer should be, basically you can use a calculator. If you want, I'll do one more of those. Oops. Okay, so I went ahead and put the whole solution there, but basically I just squared these. I'm supposed to square this too, right? And I got these numbers. I rounded a little bit because it wasn't too much, and then I subtracted 102, took the square root, so you should be able to get x is equal to 5.3. So you can still do it even if it's decimals, and I put multiple choice there so that just pick the closest thing to it. If your decimal was off, maybe you got 5.4 or 5.3. Just pick the one that's the closest, remember? Okay, so our next problem is state or determine if it's a right triangle. Sometimes no, sometimes yes. But remember, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a squared plus b squared again equals c squared. If it is, this would be true. Okay, so let's try it. So the legs we know are 8 and 8. 8 squared plus 8 squared is equal to 10 squared. These would both be 64. So if you do that on your calculator, you would get 128 equals that. If you do 10 squared, you'd get 100. Is that equal? No, it's not. So that means it is not a right triangle. Okay. So if you want, you can try this one to see if you think it is. But basically, it's going to be, this is 5, so that's the C. So 3 squared plus 4 squared, is it equal to 5 squared, question mark? Well, if you do that on your calculator, you get 25 here and 25 here. So yes, okay. So there you go. That's how you do the assignment. And so there's going to be sets of each of these types of questions. So just go ahead and do that. And when you're done, go ahead, go back here and enter them into Canvas, okay? And get credit for today's assignment. So that's it, guys.